What is up, YouTube? I'm Galdite74 here, bringing you guys week 10 and the final week of the PCP. This week we are taking on Cal Pat, or just Pat, coach of the Sydney Thundurus. We are going into this game with a 7-2 record, while my opponent is going into this game with a 6-3 record. Now, before we get into anything in this video, I want you guys to go on my Twitter, which is in the links in the description below, and vote for the poll that is currently up at the moment. In the tweet, basically, I am going to let you guys know that we did clinch the bye week for the PCP, and we have 2 weeks off, basically, next week and the following week. Next week, there's going to be no Thursday upload, but the following week, I want to do a special one-off video, and in Twitter, you can vote for what one-off video I do. So just make sure to go check that out. And as I just said, we did clinch the bye week. That does not mean we actually won this game. We either needed to win this game or we needed Dan to lose a game. And one of those two things happened. But obviously I'm not going to tell you guys because that would spoil the whole video. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. And then one more note is that make sure to go check out Calpat. His link will be in the description below as well. He did originally start to upload the PCP, but I think he stopped like halfway through. But still, go show him some love. Go show him some support. I would love if you guys did that. And anyway, Pat is actually a former champion in the PCP. I think he was the most recent champion, and I think he's won a few times. So he's a pretty good battler overall. We are going to try to win this game because he could be a finals opponent, but screw losing 3 times in a row. That would be a really bad look to end off the season overall. But I did leave some stuff off the team, of course, because I can't go full try hard just in case we do face him in the finals again. But we are going to try and win this game. Pat has an insanely broken team. He's got a Glorian Darmanitan, and that's basically all you guys need to know. But I'm just not going to let you guys in the dust like that. So we're actually going to go over his team now. Nice transition there, I saw that. But anyway, Calpat's team this week consists of Mega Diancie, Glorian Darmanitan, Mew, Haxorus, Blastoise, Toxtricity, Araquanid, Vanillux, Linoon, Fortress, and Pawniard. Now expecting to bring consists of Glorian Darmanitan, Mega Diancie, Glorian Darmanitan, Mew, Haxorus, Toxtricity, and Araquanid. He could drop like Araquanid for something like Fortress, Line, anything really, but I'm sort of expecting these 6 to come. But again, anything could really come overall. And new mons he has on his team are the Darm and the Toxtricity. As I have reiterated a few times now, that Glorian Darmanitan is an absolute threat. That thing is stupid busted, and it is insanely hard to switch into. My offensive answers are pretty good, but if he's Scarf, then like there goes that. I definitely have to be careful around that thing overall. Another threat is going to be Mew. Since Mew can do basically anything, I have to figure out what it's going to do in this battle before I handle it accordingly, because that could be a little bit annoying, and some sets are more scarier than others. So that is a Mew. And then Toxtricity is a little bit annoying to switch into. I don't have the greatest amount of switch into that thing, and that thing could definitely punch a hole in my team before it goes down. So I do have to watch out for that. His team is very offensive, as just the nature of you saw his team. He doesn't have many defensive mons. He's got like Blastoise. Mew can be defensive. Araquanid can be, even though it's not that great against my team. And Fortress, and that's sort of it. Everything else is pretty offensive, so I'm going to try and take advantage of that with the way I build. I usually build like a nice balanced team anyway, and it's just going to work out well in this matchup overall. But that is a quick rundown of Pat's team. The team I'm rocking out with this week, it consists of a Conkeldurr, Mandibuzz, Mega Sceptile, Zeraora, Ferrothorn, and Slowking. First up, we have a Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr is holding the Flame Orb with the Guts ability with max attack. This is a very offensive Conkeldurr, and Mach Punch is the only thing I'm showing right now. This thing is just stupid, like, offensive overall, but there's a few moves on here I'd rather just keep hidden just in case we do face Pat in, like, finals. You never know. But Conk is just really good in this matchup. His fighting type switch-in is not that great. It's Mew, and that's literally it. I guess Toxtricity is a switch-in, quote-quote, but with a really offensive Conk, I wouldn't really call it a switch-in. And then that's basically it. His team was pretty fighting weak overall, and I just feel like Conk would do a lot of work this game with Mach Punch and just being super offensive overall. And that's just Conk. You just look at the team. Again, not many switch-ins. Second all, we have Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is a very defensive boy with the boots. Because what other item do I ever run? Foul Play, U-Turn, Defog, and Roost were the moves. Foul Play because he's got more physical attackers than special attackers. U-Turn was good for pivoting. Defog was just kind of like whatever. He has a few good hazard setters, like Fortress is a really good hazard setter. If you want to bring like hazards on Mew, I at least could get rid of him that way. They weren't the biggest deal in the entire world for my team, but at least I had the option to defog, and then, Roost, because it's standard Mandibuzz. And that's basically it for that set. Third up, we have Mega Sceptile. Mega Sceptile is holding the Sceptile, obviously, and it has Energy Ball, 3 other moves, and I'm going to completely block out the set because it did not do much in the battle. Speed tier is really nice here. Grass coverage was okay overall. It wasn't like great because he had like Haxorus, Toxtricity, Araquanid to switch in, Fortress, but other than that, like, it was still okay overall, and I felt like the speed was really nice on this thing. Fourth up, we have Zeraora. Zeraora is Adamant, 252, 116 speed with the boots, another boots mon, double boots this week, with Plasma Fist, Close Combat, Knockoff, and Taunt. I like the speed tier a lot overall. If that Darm is Scarf, I have to be pretty careful about that, but this cleans up a lot of things on my opponent's team, because again, he has the fighting weakness. His team doesn't really appreciate electric spam, because I don't think he has a ground type. Yeah, he doesn't even have a ground type, so Plasma Fist spam was really nice. Knockoff is just good overall. And then Taunt just to stop like setups mons like Diancie, feels Rock Polish, Mew if it's set up. Even stuff like Linoon too, if like Aurora Veil's up, right? Aurora Veil? Yeah, Aurora Veil Vanillix. And that is the Zeraora set. Fifth up is going to be the Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is holding the Akaberry with the moves Stealth Rock, Leech Seed, Gyro Ball, and Bulldoze. This was like my best Toxtricity answer, even though it's not the greatest because that thing does get fire and fighting coverage. I do have the Akaberry for random hidden power fires, and Rocks were really good. I have to be careful about Mega Diancie's magic balance, but I don't feel like he's going to get that up right away. He does have a few spinners, but I beat most of those 1v1. I had to be careful about Mew if it's got like Divog, Flamethrower for whatever reason. Do have to watch out for that. Leech Seed's really good overall because I don't think he has a grass type either, to be honest. No, he does. I'm just skipping over his team. And then Gyro Ball and Bulldoze is really all I needed. I don't really expect him to stay in with stuff like the Blastoise, which I don't have a grass move for. And that is the Ferrothorn rundown there. And then finally we have Slowking. I literally threw this on 2 minutes before the battle. I had 5 mons on the team, and I was like, looking at my team, like, I don't have a Darm switch in. There really isn't even a Darm switch in, but this was like the best thing I could come up with. It's just max defensive Slowking with Helmet, Dragon Tail to make sure I don't get set up on, Scald Flamethrower is pretty good coverage overall, and then Slack Off just to heal up and stay healthy throughout the battle. And this is just mainly here to be a Darm switch in. It's also switched into a few other things like Diancie, unless it's Calm Mind, then it's a little bit scary, but again, mainly for Darm. And that is going to be the 6 Pokemon bring, and that is going to be the team. We're going to head over to Pokemon Showdown, and we're going to watch the battle. Alright, we are here on Pokemon Showdown. I am going to apologize to you guys. There is a little bit of lag on this video. It's not my computer for once. The computer I usually record this on was just lagging today, so it's going to be like that. I apologize. But my opponent did not bring the Toxtricity, but did bring the Ice Cream, so I'm going to keep that in mind. I'm going to lead off with Ferrothorn because it's not as important, but it's still pretty good, and I do want to get at my hazards ASAP. He does lead with Mew. I do want to at least keep this mon. I don't want to lose it turn 1, so I got on the Mana Buzz just to scout out what this Mew is, and I do find out that this Mew does have Flamethrower, and it is pretty offensive, so that's good to know. I was just going to U-turn out there and take the hit, and that's fine, and that's actually really good because this gets my Sceptile in for free, and I can just basically do a lot of damage to whatever. But it turns out in this league, I didn't know the rule. You don't have to Mega Evolve turn 1. And because he didn't Mega Evolve turn 1, he was able to live this hit, and I just die. That really sucks because Mega Sceptile was really good in this matchup overall, and losing it just like that really sucks. I'm not going to lie to you guys. That was really bad, but props to my opponent for knowing that. I looked it up after. You are allowed to do that, of course. Good thing is here is that I do get my kill with Conkeldurr, and if he would have switched to Mew, at least I would have got my Flame Warp that way. And since it's an offensive Mew, it would have taken a decent chunk for Mach Punch, for a Mew at least. I go on the Mana Buzz just to take whatever hit. He actually does have the Ice Beam, so that's going to do a lot. He freezes me, so that's pretty annoying. But luckily, he's just going to Ice Beam here. I'm assuming this thing is like Scarf or something like that, so I'm going to keep that in my mind for the future. I'm going to go out into the Zeraora just to knock off that, just so I can beat that a little bit later. As he goes out into the Vanillix, and his Vanillix takes nothing from knockoff. This is a pretty bulky, bulky Vanillix, and he definitely has a Aurora Veil for the Light Clay. I'm just going to CC knowing this thing cannot kill me in one hit, and I crit it. That is really big because it turns out this Vanillix is max HP, max defense, bold. So most of the time he lives that. It was still a roll, but most of the time he lives that. So I apologize to my opponent. He would have Aurora Veiled there, and it would have been a whole different ball game. He would have lost his Vanillix probably in the end, but still, that just really sucks. And I apologize for that, Pat. Going to Slowking on the Darm, and this thing's busted, but it is also Scarf, and Earthquake is a little bit scary because of the hails up, and you never know. He could get a high roll, but he doesn't risk it. as I just slack off. I know I still have Slowking for the Haxorus now, so it's doing two things. So I need to keep this thing as healthy as possible. Here I do Dragon Tail, as he does reveal the Dark Pulse. So this thing is probably offensive as well. I didn't want him smashing in front of my face, so that's why I did that. As I just drag out the Mew, that's fine. I don't really. This Mew is not really the biggest threat to my Slowking, as I can just switch out into Ferrothorn. I didn't mind this play because I didn't think he clicked Flamethrower, and I wanted to get my rocks up. But Blastoise is in here now. He goes for Ice Beam, so he reveals he doesn't have R-Sphere, and I just seed up first because I don't want this thing smashing on me immediately. And now I'm going to throw up Rocks. I almost clicked Gyro Ball here, which would have been goated for this Haxorus coming in, but Rocks are really good for the Darm. I don't think his Blastoise has Spin at this point, nor his Mew has Defog. I love this close combat, which is kind of clutch, as I'm going to be able to kill this Haxorus now with Gyro Ball because of the defense drops as I nuke it. Mach Punch from Conk probably would have been a roll at -1, so I didn't have to risk it because I lived the hit, which is pretty nice. Blastoise comes out, and at this point he does smash in front of my face. I do not have a grass move, so this is a little bit scary. I do go for Leech Seed, hoping I hit so I can get some damage on this thing, as I do hit, which is fortunate for me. And now I can just spam moves till I die. I thought about keeping this thing, but I felt like it was a bad play, so I just sacked the Ferrothorn here. I know Slowking can take one Dark Pulse, and I just need this thing under 38 so I can Mach Punch it, as I do take the Dark Pulse luckily, and I do slack off just to get some health back. And with the Leech Seed recovery, I can probably live another Dark Pulse, but here's the thing. I make a play. I'm going to Conkeldurr, right, expecting Dark Pulse, because I need my Slowking healthy for the Darm, as luckily he does go for Dark Pulse, and that is nice for me. If he had Surf or Hydro Pump, he actually had a chance to kill him. Well, Hydro Pump kills me. Surf is a roll, but with the burn, it's heavily in his favor. But because I made this aggressive play, I don't have to sack my Slowking, and I actually sacked his Darm to this Mach Punch. Mew wouldn't appreciate it either, but Mew would have taken that way better. And at this point in the game, nothing's really scary, because I can beat the Blastoise because it has no health. And this Mew, I can just chip down a bit. I am going to switch out into the Slowking here, just to prevent him from setting up if he is not Scarf in the end for whatever reason, as I can just Dragon Tail it out. As he just pulls a double on the Blastoise. He freezes me, but I actually click Skull at this turn, so it doesn't even matter. As I knock out the Blastoise, and I do not think Mew, if it's Scarf, can lock itself into any move. It can't lock itself in the move and kill all three of my team members at this point, as this Mew actually shows Nasty Plot, so it wasn't Scarf like I thought it was originally. I thought it'd be a little bit weird for dual Scarf, but with the way he was playing it, I thought that could be a thing. But we're just going to Scald this thing down. I don't think this thing even has Roost at this point, as he shows his last move is Psychic, so he can't even touch the Slowking, which is fortunate. I didn't even know that throughout the entire battle. But spoilers, we are actually going to win this game. We're going to win 3-0. The Slowking does live this Mew's Psychic, and we knock it out with Scald. And your Northside Noiverns are going to end off the PCP season off with an 8-2 record and plus 19 differential. And we clinched the bye week by winning against Pat and not having to have Dan lose in one of his games. So GG to my opponent Pat. It was a very fun game overall, and I hope we make it to the finals so we face either Shay or Pat, or anybody really, but Shay or Pat would be pretty awesome to have a nice rematch against. And I had a very fun battle overall. Again, sorry about the crit on Vanillix, because that would have changed the whole course of the game. It is Pokemon though. And Conk and Slowking really put in the overtime work this game. I wasn't expecting Slowking to put so much work in, considering I threw it on the team 2 seconds before the game, or like 2 minutes, whatever. But again, GG to my opponent Pat. Again, we're ending off 8-2. We do have 2 weeks off of the PCP, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Again, go make sure to check out the poll on my Twitter, which is currently up as I put up this video on Thursday. And I'm pretty excited and happy overall about this PCP season. I did do a few new things. We experienced the redraft for the first time, because I've never done that before. I've used new mons like Conkeldurr and Ferrothorn in drafts, which I've never done before. And a few other things. I'll recap it a little bit more whenever I lose in the playoffs. So that's that. The whole PCP recap will be in that video. But this is going to be it for the regular season. Thank you guys for supporting me throughout this regular season. We'll be back for playoffs, as I don't know who our opponent is, obviously, because we still have makeup games, of course, and I don't know how the seeding is going to work. And then there's like the wildcard games too. But that is all going to be it for this video. Again, one more time, GG to Pat. This is actually a pretty short video. I'm kind of shocked of how short it was. But anyway, thank you guys for watching so much. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you like Pokemon Draft League content, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm going to head out of here. Have a fantastic day, YouTube.